If you want to build a successful business, there are two things that you need to make that happen. On one end, you need a product, and on the other end, you need customers who are going to give you money for that product. You need both of these things if you want to build a successful business. I mean, you can have the best product in the world that can solve everybody's problems, but if nobody knows about it, it doesn't do you any good. Likewise, if you have a whole bunch of people that want to give you money, but you have nothing to sell them, that also doesn't do you any good as well. So if we start with here, how can you build a customer base? And the reason why I talk about this is because I've had a very unique kind of experience of learning how do you get customers. My first business was an event planning company. And it started off as a party promotion company where in college I was hosting parties. And the way that we would make money is people would come to my party and they would pay cover. They would pay an entry fee to get into the party. Now then, in order for me to get customers, I did word of mouth, meaning I purchased a whole bunch of flyers. I'd pay about $100. Back then I could, for $100, get 5,000 flyers. And then I would go out and distribute them. And then I would tell people who were popular in different campuses around my area to go out and distribute them in exchange for you distributing the flyers and trying to get people to come. I would let you come into the club for me. It cost me nothing to have you promote it, but then it would get people to come out. And in exchange, the product was the $10 or $20 entry fee that we would charge. This was a very manual labor trying to get people to hear about this product. Then after that, I got on the internet and I started a sock company. And when I started the sock company, the product was socks, which was sold online, which meant that we had more scalable potential because there's not that capacity limit. Like if you go to a club, there's a limit of how many people can enter. How many people can buy socks? Well, there's really not that much of a limit or constraint of how many people can buy socks in a 24-hour period. I mean, yeah, sure, you're constrained based off of your manufacturing and whatnot, but that can all be solved. So there wasn't that much limit on the product side. Now the customer side, the way that I got customers here was through social media. It was through Instagram. I spent a lot of time. This was now, we're talking about more than 10 years ago, or around 10 years ago, when Instagram was much more new. Instagram marketing was very unheard of. And so I would just go out and find anybody who was following a running page, a football page, a soccer page, an athletic page, and I would follow them from my sock company. Then you would get a notification saying that the sock company followed you. People didn't know what it was. And again, Instagram was very new back then. And the people started following my page. When people started following my page, I would tell them, hey, we have a new line dropping, or we're launching our sock company. We're doing this thing. Enter your email here. That way you can be the first person to hear about it. Then we would take the Instagram traffic, funnel them into our email list, and then we would sell them our products from there. So it was again, content-based business, but we got people to hear about it through social media. So we had a product with the socks, we got customers through social media. Now it's something a little bit different where now I create videos like this, and then I have products, which is, well, Briefs Media, my company. One of our products is Market Briefs. It's a free financial newsletter. You've probably heard me talk about it if you watched any of my videos. But in Market Briefs, it's a free breakdown of what's happening in things like the economy, housing, stocks, crypto, and the global economy, and the way that we monetize that. So we get customers from my YouTube channel, but now we also grow the newsletter from referrals. We also grow the newsletter from advertisements. But then we make money on this newsletter by selling advertisements to advertisers, companies. And then we also have our own products, which are things like our premium newsletter, Market Briefs Pro, or our Briefs Pro bundle. We have an app now as well. So the way that we get customers all started though on YouTube, where I would create content just like you're seeing here. And then I would say, hey, you want to join Market Briefs? I got that link for you down in the description below, which by the way, it is down in the description. People would then sign up for Market Briefs. And that's how we kind of got the initial base of users on our product, and then we use that as a way to then sell advertisements onto our newsletter, and then also selling our paid products as well. So there are an unlimited number of ways that you can get customers. The traditional way that people would get customers is you would go out and spend a lot of money on advertising, or you'd spend a lot of money on a storefront in a popular location. Now, because of the internet, you can flip that. If you can create content, and yes, content is one of the best ways to get started. Even if you want to run paid advertisements, I can tell you that paid advertisements convert better if you focus in on the content that you create in the advertisement, because if your content sucks, you're going to spend a lot of money to get a customer. So you have to learn how to create content if you want to be able to scale your sales in this day and age. So now, how do you create customers? One of the best ways to get customers nowadays is through content. Whether it's creating organic content through a blog, through your YouTube channel, through your podcast, through your Instagram page, through your TikTok, or whether you're creating content for paid advertisements. Content is one of the best ways to go about doing that. Now, of course, there are other ways as well. I mean, you could do cold outreach. You can call people. It depends on what your product actually is. Like when we sell advertisements, we do a lot of cold outreach to businesses to get them to want to advertise our newsletter and other products. But once you have the customers, you also need a product to sell them. And the mistake that I see a lot of people make here when it comes to coming up with that product is many times people want that blueprint of, can you just tell me what to do and then I do X, Y, and Z and I make some money? And if you do that, you're never going to build a real business, because now what you're doing is you're just imitating somebody else. And if you're just imitating somebody else, you're just a copy of something that's already successful. And if somebody's already successful doing what you want to do, why would anybody want to buy from you when they can buy from the more successful company, from the more reputable company, from the more trustworthy company, from the more validated company? Why would they want to come and buy from you? And you might say, well, I'm going to lower my price and I'm going to offer a cheaper service. Well, now you're just digging your own grave, because you're cutting into your own margins, trying to beat somebody who's already better than you, who's making better profit margins than you, who's been around longer than you. And this is where, if you really want to be able to create, this is where now you have to really invest some time into this product idea. But then the mistake that a lot of people make is they come up with a product idea and either they want to validate it, and never actually launch it because they're always trying to make sure that it's perfect, or they just keep dumping money into the product. That way they pretty much bankrupt the business before they even get started because of how much you invest into the product. And in the entrepreneurship space, there is a term called the MVP. It's different than what you do in sports, but an MVP in the business world is a minimally viable product. And what that means is create the cheapest version of a product possible. The best way to go out and test to see if people like your product is to create a rough version and just launch it. Just get people to try to buy it. Just get people to try to use it and get some feedback. Because you can spend all the money in the world trying to create a perfect product, but then if you find out that your customers hate it, well, now all your money is already gone. Go out and create and test first, and then have people give you the feedback, and then work to improve. You can always work to improve your product. In fact, you will be always improving your product, but until you actually test it, you're not going to know what you need to get done. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.